Morning Year 8, hope you're all well. Today I thought we would try something a little bit different. If like me, you're a little bit bored of dawdle, I thought we would have a little go at doing a little bit of practical work today. Now, over the last half term we have been studying forces, and today what I would like to do is to move on to something called pressure. Now, pressure is a measure of how concentrated a force is. And what you are going to do is you are going to calculate and work out how much pressure you exert, that means push down, how much pressure you put on the floor with your feet. To do this, you're going to need the following things. You're going to need a sharp pencil. You're going to need a ruler. You're going to need a piece of A4 plain paper. Now, don't worry if you don't have any A4 plain paper. Just find an old letter or something like that. This is an old worksheet that I found kicking around the house with a blank side to it. And you're going to need a calculator. I'll just give you a couple of minutes just to sort yourself out with those items. Okay, right. Now, to work out how much pressure you exert on the floor, you're going to need to know how big your feet actually are. Because what we need to know is we need to know the area of your feet. So, what we're going to do with our piece of A4 paper is we are going to divide it up into centimetre squares. So, here I've got my bit of A4 paper, I've got it in portrait. I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to just mark along the bottom, every centimetre. I'm then going to do exactly the same along the top of my bit of paper. I'm then going to join those marks up with a straight line. Like this, and I'll do that all the way along. I'm then going to do the same down the other side and down this side, and then I'll end up with a grid of centimetre squares. And there we go. You should end up with a piece of A4 paper covered in centimetre squares. Okay, next thing in Year 8 that you need to do is to take your bit of a centimetre squared paper, place it on the floor, put your foot on the centimetre squared paper, and then draw around the outline of your foot. Now your foot should fit, unless you've got massive feet. So, take my foot away. I don't know if you can see it, I don't know if it's picked it up on the camera, but there I've got an outline of my foot. Okay, right. Now I've got my outline of my foot on my centimetre squared bit of paper. The next thing I need to do takes a little while, but what I need to do is I need to go around and I need to count up how many squares my foot covers. Now, obviously, I'm not made of Lego, and none of you are too, so there's going to be little bits where it doesn't cover a whole square. So what you are going to have to do, you're going to have to use a little bit of common sense, and you're going to have to add together to make whole squares. So for example, I can see that this bit and this bit would approximately add up to 1 square, so I would count those two bits as 1 square. So you need to count how many centimetre squares your foot covers. So there we go, counted up mine, and mine add up to 197 centimetres squared. Okay, right, now I've got the area of my foot. The only other thing I need to know to be able to work out my pressure is I need to know how much I weigh. Now, I know that my mass is 90 kilograms. I know that here on Earth, 1 kilogram equals 10 newtons, because remember, in science we measure your weight because it's a force in newtons. So I know that here on Earth my weight is approximately 900 newtons. Now don't worry if you don't have any scales at home. You can either use my weight if you like, and we'll imagine that you've chopped your feet off and stuck them on the bottom of my legs, or you can just guesstimate what your weight is. Okay, if you take me, I'm quite big. Take me as 90 kilograms, you can then sort of estimate what your weight is. Now, pressure. You will be pleased to know has an equation, and the equation for pressure is force divided by area. That means, of course, that we can put it into another magic triangle, which is absolutely amazing. So just like the magic triangles that we used for speed, the magic triangle for pressure is like this, where P equals it stands for pressure, F stands for force, A stands for area, and you use it in exactly the same way as we used our speed and distance magic triangle. So you cover up the thing you're trying to work out. So in my magic triangle I cover up the P, look at what I'm left with, force divided by area. So now I can fill in my numbers. Okay, so I know the force, which is my weight, is 900 newtons. I know the area of my foot is 197 centimetres squared. So 197 centimetres squared. I'm going to tackle that in to my calculator. I'm going to round that up to 1 decimal place. So that means that my pressure is 4.6 newtons per centimetre squared. And just like I've taught you before, because that's my final answer, I'm just going to underline that. Okay. Now that, of course, is the pressure of 1 foot. What am I going to do to work out to calculate the pressure when both my feet are on the floor? I'm going to leave that one for you to puzzle out over. Now, what I would like you to do, have a little go at this if you can. If you'd like to post me some pictures or a little bit of your calculations and the things that you've done, that would be fantastic. But that's your task for this week. Anyway, Year 8, hope you're all well. See you all again soon. Bye-bye.